Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I am going to read S3 30-32. The Blackout, the day all the lights went out by Amanda Onion. Chapter 1. Introduction. On August 14, 2003, millions of people lost their electricity. That means big cities like Detroit, Toronto, and New York City all just turned off. Computers went blank, traffic lights went black, roller coasters even got stuck on their tracks. It was the biggest blackout ever. Find out why the lights went out and what happened when they did. A roller coaster in Sandusky, Ohio stopped when the power went out. Riders were rescued within an hour. One boy on the ride said you could look out across the park and see everyone else stuck too. Chapter 1. Something Strange. Place Carmel, Indiana. Time 1:31 through 4:10 p.m. On August 14, Don Hunter was having a bad day at work. Don works for a big company called MISO. This company watches over all the power plants in the midwestern part of the United States. All day, Don works at a computer in Carmel, Indiana. His computer shows what's happening at the power plants. He can tell when there's a problem and help the plant fix it. That's important because the plants are connected. Say something goes wrong at one plant, that might cause problems at other plants. The day at 1:31 p.m. Don saw a big problem. A power plant on Lake Erie in Ohio had stopped working. Don called the plant. What's going on? He asked. Something strange is happening. Soon another power plant in Ohio shut down. Now Don was really worried. Then a third plant in Ohio shut down. And at 4:11 p.m., 21 more power plants in other states shut down. Hunter had never seen anything like it. No one had. It was the biggest blackout in U.S. history. Power off. Here is what's happened when the lights went out. Did you see in the map? Yes. Place, Detroit, Michigan. Time, 4:11 p.m. Chapter 2. Stuck in an elevator. Betty Lloyd works in Detroit, Michigan on August 14th. She was going home early. She left her office on the 11th floor. She got on the elevator. Everything was fine. Then, screech! The elevator came to a stop. All the lights went out. The blackout had hit Detroit. The whole city had lost power, and Betty was stuck in the elevator. I hollered and yelled and screamed a lot, Betty says. She pounded on the elevator door with her fist. Then she heard a man's voice. The man said, I'm gonna get you out. He told Betty he would be right back. Betty waited and waited, but no one came. How would she ever get out? And how long would it take? Imagine you were stuck in an elevator. How would you feel? What would you do? Place, New York, New York. Time, 4:32 p.m. Chapter 3, Sleeping on the Street. Jolene Dawkins was at the checkout desk of a big hotel in New York City. She was getting ready to fly home to Kentucky. Suddenly, the lights went out. Clerks at the hotel told Jolene to forget about going home. There was no electricity in the whole city. Even the airports had no power. Jolene wanted to go back to her hotel room, but the clerks told her that she couldn't. All the guests had to leave the hotel. Why? The electronic room keys didn't work. Jolene and about 5,500 other guests had nowhere to go. They carried their bags outside. They stood around on the sidewalk. There were a few chairs, so they took turns sitting. It was a very hot day. Jolene remembers. It felt like it was 110 degrees. All over the city, thousands of people were trying to figure out what to do. The subways weren't working. Trains weren't running. Traffic lights were out. So there were traffic jams everywhere. thousands of people waited in long lines for buses and ferries. Thousands more walked home. Some people begged for rides. At Jolan's hotel, workers brought each guest water and half of a bagel. The night came. All of New York City was dark. Jolan still had nowhere to go. She couldn't call her husband either. Her cell phone didn't work. The hotel workers brought out pillows and sheets. Jolene and the other guests went to sleep on the hot, busy sidewalk. Wow. Do you think Jolene and other guests were scared? Why or why not? Chapter 4. Place Toronto, Canada. Time 5:20 p.m. Playing traffic cop. Toronto is in Canada. It's 500 miles north of New York City. Peter Karayanis is a lawyer there. He was in a meeting in downtown Toronto. That's when the blackout hit. Peter grabbed his bag. He started walking through the city. He wanted to get back to his office. Then he noticed that drivers and workers were having trouble. The traffic lights were not working. The cars and workers did not know when to take their turn. Pedestrians were zigzagging between bumpers. Peter said, I thought somebody should do something about it. So he did. He went to the middle of the intersection. He became a traffic cop. People waiting to cross gave him loud cheer. A worker handed him a bright orange vest. A guy on a bike gave him a whistle. After a few hours, the owner of a restaurant came over. He gave Peter a tray of food and some water. He served Peter in the middle of the intersection. All of the cars and people waited while Peter took a few bites. Then Peter got back to work. Power on. Okay, the blackout is over. Here is how electricity gets to your home and to your computer. The power plant. Electricity is made at a power plant. Power lines. Electricity leaves the plant on power line. These lines are sometimes underground. Number 3, substation. This electricity goes to substation. There, it is changed into form that will work in your home. Number 4, power lines. Electricity goes out on power lines. Again, these lines are sometimes underground. Number 5, home. The electricity enters your house. Okay, date August 15th, 2003. Toronto, Carmel, New York City, Detroit. Back to normal. At about 8 p.m., Peter Karayanis went off duty. A real policeman showed up. He took over for Peter. People had given me so much food, Peter said, and I had bottles of water and cans of soda. It was a really fun afternoon. Peter gave the policeman his whistle. Then Peter headed home for some sleep. Don Hunter and thousands of others worked all night to get the power plants working again. Finally, it was time to turn them back on. Would the plants work? Oh, would the blackout go on? They turned on a few plants. The plants worked. They turned on a few more. Those plants worked too. By afternoon, most of the power plants were up and running. Soon Toronto, New York City, and Detroit had electricity again. But by 4:30 a.m. that day, Jolene had had enough. I didn't sleep, she said. I kept worrying that there were rats crawling all over me. She dragged a suitcase from the hotel. She walked and walked until she found a taxi. After waiting 6 hours at the airport, she flew home. But what about Betty in the elevator? She had been trapped for 12 hours. She had yelled for help. She had sweated in the heat. She had even peed in her lunchbox. Finally, just after 10 a.m., someone heard her cries for help. By 11 a.m., firefighters had opened the door. Oh my God, you are here, Betty said. She was finally free. The end.